Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we have another major storm headed to the United States up through the Pacific Northwest. This is going to head through the central United States as well, and eventually into the eastern United States, bringing a multitude of impacts, but especially a large snowstorm in the western United States that we need to talk about in this video. Now, before we get into things, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I would like to know, how much snowfall do you think we will see with this major snowstorm? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now, let's just get straight into this video. You might notice that my voice is a little bit worse than it was even yesterday. I can assure you that these videos aren't really hurting it. I know a lot of people are probably concerned that I shouldn't be making videos when I'm feeling this way, but I talk a lot more throughout the day, just doing normal day-to-day stuff than I even do in this 10-minute video. So I figure this doesn't really do much harm at all, in case anybody was concerned about that. I am recovering from whatever was going on. I've just been kind of chilling at my house, making videos. That's all I ever do anyway. So just trying to recover, vitamins, everything. So doing good, but my throat is kind of struggling. I was eating a lot of smoothies. Me and my girlfriend were actually on a diet where there was a lot of pineapples, and we were eating I think 2 a day. So I think that did actually hurt my throat because, as you might know, pineapples are very acidic. So I think I might not even be down, with something. I think it might literally just be the pineapples because they can really, really mess you up. And I think I was eating too much. Anyway, let's get into the weather actually. And as you can see, a storm rolled through. If you live in the eastern United States, I don't think this is new news to you. It was pouring last night here in Virginia. Again, talking about my girlfriend, we were driving last night. It was a great memory, by the way. Great moments. It's the little moments, you know what I mean? We were driving and it just started pouring. We were down in the country, and on the drive home, I was so nervous. My windshield wipers couldn't even keep up. We were on some dark, windy roads. I couldn't even tell where my turns were. Going under the speed limit. It was crazy, guys. But likely, you guys had similar conditions where you're at, and are still ongoing some of those potential impacts, because as you can see, there's a lot of storminess still around, especially the further north you go. A lot of the southern areas, it has already moved offshore, but for areas north, I would say the Delmarva, and take that northward, there is still a lot of heavy precipitation ongoing with this one. But by the time we reach about tonight, I would say at approximately 11 p.m. here on Sunday, October 17th, everything should be moved off except for some lake effect rainfall. I almost said snowfall. I don't want to scare anybody. I don't think there's going to be any lake effect snowfall with this one, but there will be some lake effect rain that, if it was colder, it would be lake effect snowfall. So yeah, very interesting, and it does increase my confidence that we could have an active lakes year. Now, this is a cold front. This is all associated with the cold front. And as you can see, throughout the day, on Sunday here today, we're going to be dealing with some below normal temperatures for a majority here of the eastern United States. As you can see, New Hampshire and Maine still dealing with some of those warmer temperatures, as well as a lot of the north central United States. But the further south you go, the more below normal it goes. We have a lot of areas in the 5 to 10 degrees below normal range there, in the darker blues and in the darker greens. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to take a look at that storm out west, watch it move onshore, and watch that snowstorm play out. All right, now here that is. We can see it's a pretty decent storm. This is going to be nothing like our storm we had about 5 days ago or whatever. It's not going to be that low of a low pressure system, but this will bring a pretty hefty amount of snowfall, and I am eyeballing the potential for 10 to 20 inches of snowfall, whereas the other storm, there was 20 to 30 inches of snowfall. So this one will not be quite as bad. We can see there is some snowfall starting out for Canada up there. This is nothing abnormal. Those mountain regions there in coastal Canada there see hundreds of inches of snowfall throughout the winter. This is nothing crazy, but we do see a lot of rainfall moving on to the coastal regions of California, Oregon, and Washington by this point. This is an important time for me to mention. This is the total snowfall through the season so far. A vast majority of this came from our previous storm we just had. As you can see, throughout the Rockies, we've had widespread snowfall throughout this season so far. Not very surprising through mid-October. If you're anywhere in the pinks, you've dealt with about 6 to 12 inches of snowfall. If you're anywhere below that, so blues or grays, you've dealt with under 6 inches of snowfall. And the magentas are 12 to 36 inches of snowfall. And there's even some oranges showing up in some of those regions, which is where they've seen 36 inches plus. A lot of that going on for northern Wyoming, southern Montana, and the very, very western regions of the Dakotas. Again, a vast majority of this actually fell during our most previous snowstorm, and we're about to add on a lot of snowfall to this actually. So let's move back to the storm. This time it's going to be about 11 p.m. tonight on Sunday, October 17th. So yes, this is very, very soon coming up. My confidence is very high because uh, there's not a lot of uncertainty when a storm is about 12 hours away or so. And as you can see, snowfall is starting out by the time we're reaching kind of the nighttime hours for Oregon, California. Those regions are beginning to see some snowfall. And then by the time we reach about 6 a.m. tomorrow on Monday, October 18th, you can see that we have heavy snowfall coming down for California, Nevada, and then southern Oregon as well. Again, there's not really any strong low pressure system anywhere. We see a 1,000 millibar low pressure center. I guess that's our strongest low pressure system there. But there's not really going to be a strong low pressure system associated with this, but there will be a lot of snowfall. And by the time we reach about 3 p.m. on Monday, this is the look. We can see a lot of snowfall ongoing for Nevada, Idaho, Utah, sorry, that's Wyoming. I almost said California, but I meant to say Colorado, but it's not even Colorado. It's actually Wyoming. So I got all messed up right there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on towards where this snowfall is going to get a lot more intense as it heads towards the heart of the Rockies. And then we're going to watch it move through the north central United States and eventually into the northeastern United States as well. Now, by this point, we're reaching about 2 a.m. on Tuesday, October 19th. And as you can see, a lot of that more lighter to moderate snowfall is ongoing for Colorado, Utah, Nevada, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. Nothing really heavy to talk about. Again, still just a 1,000 millibar low pressure center over the Denver region there in Colorado. It's about to get a lot heavier as we move towards the mid-morning on Tuesday, October 19th. We can see a lot heavier snowfall for Idaho, especially Wyoming there, and then portions of Colorado as well. And this kind of just sticks around throughout the day that day. And this is by the time we're reaching about the evening hours of Tuesday, October 19th. So later that day, we have a 1,003 millibar low pressure center over Nebraska by that point. And then we're going to move towards about 2 a.m. on Wednesday, October 20th. And you can see this one is generally lightening up, but we're still seeing some snowfall for Wyoming, South Dakota, and Nebraska there. And we see our next storm system moving onshore to the northwest. I have not talked about this one yet, and I'm not going to, but it looks a lot stronger than this one we're talking about today. And by the time we reach about 11 a.m. or so here on Wednesday, October 20th, you can see this one has moved to where the low pressure center is basically over Iowa and Minnesota. But we see some of that snowfall still ongoing for South Dakota. But by the time we reach about 2 a.m., it's obviously all said and done when we reach the eastern half of the country where a lot of the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes are majority dealing with this storm. And then eventually this one moves up into the northeastern United States by 2 p.m. on Thursday, October 21st. And by, I would say, the midnight hours of Friday, October 22nd, we can see a lot of that has moved up into exclusively New England. So as far as total rainfall, we expect the potential for 1 to 2 inches of rainfall for a lot of these yellow and red regions. So some of those regions in the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the northeastern United States, this could bring some flooding. The total rainfall, if you're anywhere in the blues or grays, you're under 6 inches of snowfall. The purples are going to be 6 to 10. Those pinks are going to be 10 to 20 inches of snowfall. So we see some of that for California, and then especially Wyoming, but even Colorado, Utah a little bit there as well. And then we even see that turquoise or kind of pastel color there in Wyoming there. That is where we're at 20 inches plus. So yes, this could be a very major snowstorm. Anything over 10 inches I usually consider to be a pretty major snowstorm. I mean, you're approaching 1 foot. That is more than a nuisance snowstorm. I don't care where you live. You might think that this isn't a big deal, but 10 inches plus, I mean, this really is not just a nuisance snowstorm. This is a pretty big one. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we're at a 5 out of 6. Again, this is starting out literally today, so I couldn't be any more confident, really, except I could because snowstorms can be finicky, so that's why I stated a 5 instead of a 6, because sometimes there's more or less snowfall in different regions. I don't know. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, how do you think the last half of this month is going to go? Because we just crossed over the halfway mark of October. And James Marr said, I believe we will be in a flip-flop pattern for the second half of the month. And I think that's a very good analysis of what's going to pretty much be occurring. It's going to be warm, cold, rainy, dry, all over the place. And then we're going to move into November, and who knows what's going to happen. Anyway, for today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons: Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Larry LePan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, and then I would also like to thank our diamond patrons: Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codalesa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Cindy Klein, Alan Goodmaben, Bill Dallas, Gary's, John Khaleesi, Dwight Phelan, Stephen Crenenthal, and Thomas D. Barr as well. I would like to thank you guys for supporting the channel. If you'd like to join this Patreon entry today, do so by joining our very exciting Patreon page in the description and in the pinned comments down below. I would also like to thank our channel members Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. This will be located next to that subscribe button down below if you are interested in joining. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.